Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
I'm excited. We have another episode to do.
I know.
Today, this was kind of your idea, so why don't you
No.
set us up and tee it up?
Okay, well, this sounds kind of gnarly, but are we living in a cancerous growth?
It's kind of metastasizing.
Yeah, it is. Like
It's like spreading.
it's spreading like a cancerous growth.
Yeah.
So I was driving down the freeway near where we live the other day, and I was just noticing how like this this urban sprawl, or like what you called it, urban blight,
Yes.
has just sort of spread like wildfire. Like it's like they started building a few apartment buildings, like maybe a year or so ago, and now there's like 20 of them.
Mhm.
And they're just like literally spreading out like wildfire. Like they're spreading like a cancerous growth. And when I was just driving the other day and noticing this, that was what came to my mind. I was like, wow, it's like cancer that's metastasized, which is like the worst possible scenario. You don't want like you could get a cancerous like tumor, and then like maybe they cut it out, and you can recover. But when it metastasizes, it spreads everywhere, and that's not good. And I feel like that's what's happening in our city
Yeah.
and in so many cities everywhere. And I think this is all part of this 15-minute city plan that they want us to have. They want everybody to be living in a 15-minute city, meaning that you don't have to go further than 15 minutes by foot, I think, which is their plan, by
Yeah.
foot, to get what you need. Like you can just walk within 15 minutes, you're going to have everything that you want and need right there.
And it's just this big, disgusting tumor growing.
Yeah.
And that's what they'll be like. They're like, this city is growing. No, it's got growth, but it's a cancerous growth.
Yeah. It's not good because so I sort of had like an epiphany when we were talking about this before we were recording. And I was thinking, you know what? It's like, okay, they say 15-minute city, but as big as these things are getting, I feel like they're going to be bigger than 15-minute cities. Yet I think like the people that are going to live in these, they won't really need to go further than 15 minutes to get what they need.
Yeah.
That's what they want. And you were saying, yeah, there's probably going to be two cheesecake factories there, but like
Yeah.
you won't even probably ever even see the second one because you'll go to the first one that's only 15 minutes away from you. And why would you need to go any further than
Well, it
that?
makes me think
You know
of
what I mean?
we have this one disgusting like conglomeration near us here where it started off as like a mall and then they built a bunch of like apartment housing connected to it.
Yeah.
And that whole complex seems to be metastasizing.
Yeah. It's spreading.
It's getting bigger and bigger. And so now you can totally see, like, if somebody lives here and somebody lives over there, they're not going to go to the same Cheesecake Factory because it's too far to walk.
Yeah.
It's too big. The 15-minute city's become huge.
Yeah. They'll just stay at the one that's closest to them.
And they're just corralling everybody into there. And it totally is ugly. Like, they don't build
It's
beautiful
so ugly.
buildings.
Yeah, it's super ugly. I was just gonna say how I'm driving by and I'm like, okay, these buildings look like little prisons. They literally look like little prisons. Like, I don't know, they're not like beautiful and like some like gorgeous, they say resort living because I guess some of them have a pool, but I don't know. They look to me like there's nowhere to go. Like, you don't get a yard. You're maybe lucky enough to have like a coffin-sized balcony, maybe.
And there's somebody right on top of you.
Yeah, and you don't really, there's like nowhere to go. Like what I've noticed also about a lot of these is they don't even have like a dog park or a play park for kids. Like they just sort of have nowhere to go. So I guess what they want is for you to go into the like the city that's in there and like walk to the cheesecake factory or whatever. And that's your life. Like you are living there. And you know what's really sad? I think millions of people are already living this way and will end up living this way because they're going to be conditioned to it. And they don't realize that there's more out there. They don't realize that there's more to this world. And, like, have you ever talked to somebody who is like used to living in a 15-minute city and they they've never like ventured out.
Yeah.
Like they've never gone out of their 15-minute city.
Like lady that goes, I haven't really left this 3 mile radius in like 35 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've even talked to people who live like in LA and they've never, really ventured off the freeway before into like a smaller area.
Yeah.
So they don't even really know what's out there within like maybe an hour from where they live.
You know what? That's a media behavior.
It
Because
is.
when people obey the media is constantly driving you into your smaller and smaller reality.
Yeah, smaller and smaller
Like even
reality.
look at like I know you guys you always get mad at me for bringing up the show, but I always bring up Hunting Wives
Oh yeah.
because they don't really live in a large area. Everybody's kind of in their little town.
They're in their little town.
Like
Yeah.
geographically speaking, they're not really traveling a lot.
No. But
Media kind of suggests no, 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 no. What you do is you kind of form groups within your little 15-minute city reality.
mhm.
They don't have shows that really depict people who have like a jet setting gallivanter type of lifestyle.
Unless it's like the ultra rich who have like their mansions in various locations where most people could never even like fathom having a lifestyle like that. Like
Yeah.
their mansion is bigger than like their whole city.
And
So
then they make it abundantly clear that
you'll
they
never have that.
have what you'll never have.
Yeah. So, I think it's interesting how so many people, who live in cities don't realize that there's so much more out there. And like they are so concerned about the world being overpopulated and they buy into this narrative that we're overpopulated, there's too many people, and
Mhm.
there's just we're overcrowded and everything. But if they went on a road trip and like drove to the middle of the country.
New Mexico.
It's not a really very good place, but
But there's a lot of land
there's
there.
a lot of land. But I'm thinking like Montana or Wyoming or maybe
Kansas.
Nebraska, Kansas. They would see miles and miles of just nothing but open spaces and land. You know,
They don't want you talking about that.
they don't want. We're probably gonna get like flagged for that
They don't
comment.
like that
They don't like
because they
that.
want people believing that, first of all, Earth mod is very, very dangerous.
It's very
So
dangerous.
get rid of your car
Get your
and
pokey poke.
come move into our because they kind of call them smart cities.
Yeah.
And the smart city is like, well, we're eco-friendly and we're low carbon footprint.
And you got to have an app for everything.
And your apps, and then you
Yeah,
just stay in your house, and then you order your food, and you have your VR goggles, and that's all you need.
right. So the sad reality is these people don't know what real reality is. They don't venture out to see, what's really out there.
Yeah.
And you know what that reminds me of? My favorite place.
Antarctica.
Antarctica. I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite place because I haven't been there yet, but
The idea of it.
the idea, which is that we aren't allowed to go there. We're not allowed to know what's really out there. And it's another way for them to keep us in our cages, because we don't know what's really out there.
What did we nickname the 15-minute cities before? It's
City,
scarcity.
scarcity.
Because that's what Antarctica maybe contradicts.
Right.
Antarctica kind of suggests fecundity.
That's such an interesting word.
You never heard that word. I taught you that one in the
I
episode.
know.
Fecundity is kind of the opposite of scarcity. Scarcity means there's not enough.
And fecundity means there's a lot. Wow.
Fecundity is like the abundance and the coming forth of life.
Wow.
And there's enough for everybody.
And maybe even more.
There's more than enough. And we don't need to have this scarcity mentality, but I think the culture club likes you having a scarcity mentality.
They do. They want everybody to think everything's running out or in dire straits because like earth modification is coming and like
That's right.
the end of the world is near and it's all because of like, the world like heating up and also cooling down too.
You might get too hot, but you might get too cold.
Yeah.
It's just change.
Yeah, it's
But
changed.
it's kind of like you can't be living in a house with a backyard and air conditioning.
No.
And it's, got 4 bedrooms and you have a nice big living room and a nice big kitchen, a hot tub in the backyard.
And maybe your dog gets to run around the backyard.
Your dog hangs out in the backyard. They're like, you are not worthy of that type of largesse.
Right.
What you need to get into the habit of doing is thinking that you're a virus. Your life you're an invasive species, and you need to trample lightly and hurry up and die.
Oh my gosh, epiphany.
Epiphany, epiphany, epiphany.
So these 15-minute cities that they're creating, they are like a virus.
Mhm.
I mean, I compared it to cancerous growth, but really it's also like a virus that's spreading and they
Yep.
want the idea of it to spread.
Yeah.
So like a virus, they want it to like just attach itself to anybody and
Mhm.
everybody gets used to the idea. Everybody's on board with it because that's the new way to be,
The other thing too is they kind of suggest that humans are a virus, and
Mhm.
what does a virus always need? A host.
Right.
So who's the host?
Bill
It's
Gates.
Earth. Bill Gates, no, he's the host with the most. No, the host is Earth.
Right.
So Earth is the host, and us humans, we're the virus.
Yeah.
So we need to be kind of like
Corralled.
gotten rid of.
Hmm.
And the way that they get rid of us, the prescription is get into your 15-minute city and then we'll just kill you.
Right.
Because I think they have a whole bunch of reasons a whole bunch of ways they're going to kill people. They're going to have you order your own coffin.
Hmm.
That's real convenient if
Yeah.
you're living in a 15-minute city.
Because, and that's going to happen like to the people that are morbidly depressed.
Mhm.
So they'll easily be talked into just ordering their own coffin. And,
Let me ask you this. Do you think a 15-minute city is probably going to have a pharmacy selling big shawarma?
yeah,
Right there attached.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's going to be important that you're on big shawarma
Yeah.
while you're in the 15-minute
And a
city.
lot of that big shawarma causes very specific side effects, like wanting to hang yourself from a doorknob with a scarf.
And I think that's how. So what if when you get into the 15-minute city, they normalize being on big shawarma? Like
Mhm.
maybe, oh, what they'll probably do is be like, dude, go down to Wingstop and get some Louisiana fries and some chicken. And then, but you don't realize that that's getting you on the healthcare system because now you're going to need Ozempic. And then once you got Ozempic, you know what they
It's a
do.
slippery
Yeah,
slope.
so I think what's gonna happen is once you get into the 15-minute city, they're gonna be like, "Oh, good, good, good. Now here's some big shawarma,"
And
because they can kill you quick with big shawarma.
yeah, and oh my gosh, I just maybe had another
Another activity.
no,
I love it.
but I watched Minority Report again the other night, which is worth a rewatch.
I have watched it recently.
Yeah, and I just kind of realized that if you're in a 15-minute city, it's going to be a lot easier for them to have a minority report type of setting.
Oh yeah.
They'll have like the ads targeted to each person, like when you walk by, um, the pre-crime police will know like when you're thinking of doing something bad, which could just be like driving outside the 15-minute city, I mean, this is
Yeah,
going to
they've said
be
that by surveilling your phone very closely, they can predict your behavior now because they've been watching everything you do for years. So
totally.
now they know what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do. So they could be doing that.
Totally. And you know what? I'm sure like this has happened to you and it's creepy, but like, have you ever been on your phone and like maybe you're on Instagram or something and these ads pop up for like the exact thing that you were like talking about like a few minutes
Yeah,
before.
I've had that.
It's so creepy.
It is weird.
This is total Minority Report stuff. Like they're the targeted
Totally.
ads that come up specifically with stuff that you are like interested in, you know? I don't think that's chance or just
No.
coincidence. We've talked about
And
coincidence
another
before.
thing that's not chance is Palantir being ushered in.
Yeah.
Like
How convenient.
Palantir,
How convenient.
yeah, Palantir was created by our CIA and Mossad. I don't see Palantir just going away.
No.
I think Palantir was created in conjunction with the 15-minute cities.
Totally. And you know what?
Because when you're in the 15-minute city, how easy is it to be surveilled every second of every day?
That's why they want people like that because it will be easier. Cameras everywhere.
You
And you
know,
know what Palantir is?
a score.
But it's Minority Report.
It totally is.
It's totally Minority Report. So, yeah, that's why they want people in these 15-minute cities because, if you're out in the country, it's probably going to be a lot harder for them to like have cameras on you. There's
Totally.
probably not going to be a lot of
And
cameras
even if like
out in
we're
the
making this
cornfields.
podcast and we're living in a 15-minute city, all they have to do is just turn off our Cheesecake Factory credits and gas our little apartment. Maybe they even have gas that just comes out of the vents,
Oh my gosh, they totally could.
and they just exterminate you right.
Like we don't want those people talking anymore.
They're talking. So Palantir and 15-minute city, they go hand in hand.
Mm,
And then Palantir gives you a score.
right.
So they surveil you, and then they have like part of the program is assigning you a score.
Hmm.
So if you're living in a 15-minute city, your social credit score is going to be the utmost importance because you're not going to have a job. We've already talked about how jobs are going away.
Right.
You're going to have a universal basic income.
And what is the score? It's totally what's been happening in China. The social credit score.
It's going to be a social credit
Where
score.
they actually like give people points for their behavior and take away points if they do something they don't like. They actually put people's faces on those electronic billboards with like little slogans like, "Oh, he jaywalked, so he's like losing 100 points off of his social credit score." And when your social credit score drops down so many points, you can't access like public transportation, you can't get a
They do.
flight, you can't
They
maybe,
go, this is Min. He's a scumbag.
yeah, he just jaywalked.
So don't ever hang out with Min. Don't ever give him a job.
He's not allowed to buy beer tonight.
Yeah.
And maybe tomorrow night he won't be allowed to buy food.
And then it's like, well, if you apply for a job, they look back at your like, well, I noticed you were kind of put on the social credit score shit list a couple times.
Mm.
What happened? Well, I said this and I did that. Wow, that's not gonna work.
So you're not getting a job.
Yeah.
And then you don't have any money. So then you can't like buy a train ticket out of town. So you're kind of screwed.
They're like, we mailed you a coffin.
Just go ahead and use it. Just go ahead and use
That's
it.
your retirement plan. We've already mailed that to you. So, that's kind of what's going on with the 15-minute city. They're corralling you. What's the white pill?
The white pill is get the hell out of that city,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to live there.
No.
They're not cheap. Like I was like kind of looking into one of the couple of the ones near us because I was just curious. They're super expensive. Like I don't
For
really.
you. But I think there's Section 8 if you're a cockroach.
Oh, really? But you know what? For like the average regular person that's working like spinning their wheels and running the hamster wheel every day, just trying to make ends meet, it's expensive. And like
Oh, yeah.
you could like, I don't know why people want to live like that because like in our town, you could actually live in a house with a backyard for less
Cheaper.
than some of these 15-minute cities. So I think it's weird. I think they've got a whole group of people that are kind of they've been, I guess, indoctrinated into this idea
Think
that
about if you're
that it's
so
cool.
helpless that you can't even make instant popcorn, like some of these people.
Right,
Like you're so helpless that the toilet clogs up, you have no idea what to do.
right.
And if
Instant popcorn.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you own a home,
You,
you kind of got to know how to maintain it.
yeah.
You got to make sure the roof is cool. You got to
You
take care of
totally
the
have to own a
appliances.
plunger.
You got to own a plunger, and then the sink might clog up,
Yeah.
and then the air conditioning unit might go out. I mean, you got to kind of deal with the maintenance and the upkeep. I think these people have been rendered into a state where they're kind of useless. Like they can't even really do two plus two. They're basically retarded and useless. So they like a 15-minute city because,
They don't
you
have to
know,
think.
they don't have to think. If the washing machine takes a dump, you have some guy, you just push a button and oh, I have washing machine took it up. Then the apartment complex sends their maintenance guys out to take care of it. You just stay there and don't get agitated.
So you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
You'll own nothing and you'll
This
like
is
it.
what they want.
Yeah. So the white pill, I think, is understand that this is the agenda. Um, and if we as a culture start pushing out into rural areas and creating new cities and new lifestyles, that's going to make them mad.
You know what? Yeah, the rest of the white pill is like go venture out and see all of the beauty that is out there,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
it. Go see the beauty that's out there and go learn to appreciate that and say, no, 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 this 15-minute city is unacceptable.
You know what that just made me think of too? I don't know, this is weird. I was thinking about, and we might need to do a whole episode on this, because we were talking about like um people like being disappointed with reality and stuff, which I think we're
Mhm.
going to talk more about. But this makes me think of how people, so many people are like on these dating apps, and this is how they meet people. And it's sort of like shopping for shoes. You can just like kind of enter in like what you like.
Mhm.
And but I think a lot of these people don't actually venture out of their little bubble. And maybe if they like ventured out into the world and found what was out there beyond their little area and like explored and kind of discovered the beauty that's out there, they might like meet more people too. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Not just romantically, but they might meet like nice people that they like. And, I met some really great people on my adventure this summer, and I would have never met them if I had just stayed in my bubble.
Think about how we met. It was organic. We were both doing something we were passionate about because we were pushing back against the cooties.
Right.
And that was a very organic way to meet. I've always kind of felt like I don't want to go meet somebody in a real contrived, forced way.
Right. Well, we talked about that in another episode too, like how you should have purpose in your life. And when you have purpose, you end up in the right situations because you're doing something that you like.
Well, like we met each other doing like-minded things.
Hmm. And I met a lot of really cool people during that, it was kind of a lonely time during the cooties when they wanted us all locked up. But I did venture out and go to like some events like the ones that you're talking about. And I met some really cool people who I've stayed in touch with and I've been friends with for like all these years now.
Yeah.
So, but I think my point is that I think a lot of people kind of get stuck in their little bubbles. And I think that's part of the 15-minute city plan. I think they want everybody to stay in these little small areas,
Totally.
and they're not going to really like know what's out there.
You know what it makes me
I
think
think
of?
they want people to know what's out there.
Remember the dude who you saw him? He was living in the warehouse and he lived in
Yeah.
like a little square
Yeah.
in
With
the
no
warehouse.
windows. Oh my
So
gosh.
I think some people they get demoralized, their
Hmm.
self-esteem gets completely erased, and they get rendered into this state where they're just like, um, my dog's in a wheelchair, and all I deserve
And
is
that's just my reality.
this is my reality. And they become demoralized and low self-esteem enough to just accept that, you know what, this is all I get.
They accept that there's nothing better out there.
There's nothing better for me.
I don't, yeah, I think a lot of people I'm not sure where that comes from exactly, but I think the media definitely contributes to that. And
Well, I've thought about this. We did this episode before. The media says, I understand you're not hot. Nobody wants you. You're unwanted. So come here, come here. I've got the answer for you.
hmm
Here's the media that you want. And then what they do is when they've got you unwanted and lonely and having low self-esteem, they keep you there.
hmm
And then they know that you're manipulatable, so then they give you Margot and they say go be Margot. But now you're going and submitting to their dystopia because Margot submits to dystopia.
Right.
Did you notice that Margot, and we're talking about The Hunting Wives, the show on Netflix? I like to bring it up. It's actually kind of profound. I bring it up a lot.
I know, because it does have like a lot of really, I think there's a lot of symbolism in that show.
It's kind of profound in a weird way.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like, not intentionally, it's
no.
profound in that things drip off it that were unintentional by the creators. Like,
Yeah,
for
I
instance,
totally think so.
you
Like,
know,
I think that there's stuff, observations that we've made about the characters and what they do that is kind of symbolic of what's happening in the world.
like Margot is the main character,
Uh-huh.
and she is, I think you could say she's the heroine.
Yeah,
She's the protagonist.
right.
So she's the hero.
Yeah,
Margot doesn't care about fixing the dystopia.
no,
She's not a crusader for justice.
no.
She's like, oh yeah, no, everything's really screwed up. That's why I'm a hot slut.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the mentality because Margot even just submits to bland dystopia.
hmm
And look at how fabulous Margot is, and everybody wants her. But she has been conditioned, even as desirable as she is, that there's nothing you can do. Everything's screwed up, so just be a hot slut. So the
Just
same,
be a bottomless pit.
think about how much worse it is for somebody who nobody really wants you.
hmm
You're kind of fat, you got tattoos, and you just jerk off to porn in your coffin apartment. There's probably a lot of loneliness and low self-esteem there.
Right.
So you're totally content to submit to it. It's like Brave New World. Brave New World, remember Aldous Huxley?
hmm
He goes, well, you know, what we found is it's a very efficient model because what people will do is they will submit to a quality of life that typically they would not submit to. And that's because we keep them plied with soma and sex with random people. And so they don't care, you know?
You just keep them sedated.
Or like the Romans, bread and circus, and you go watch the Colosseums.
Yeah.
And then
And they'll never rebel.
you are a slave. A 15-minute city is a plantation. It's a slavery. You are a slave.
It's a cage.
It's a cage. And
Mhm.
they're corralling people into it, and people are submitting to it. You know, like I have no idea what happened really in World War II, but there's like what we've been told
Yeah.
was remember the trains were going to Auschwitz and you would see like the one Jew was like helping the other Jew on the train. And
Yeah.
they're like, look at him helping the other Jew onto the train to the showers, you know? I think that's kind of real.
Mm.
I think people are like helping each other into the 15-minute city ghetto,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
I think so. Well, like
Because
we've
it's
talked,
kind of like a cultural thing. It's like, oh,
yeah,
well, I have friends.
yeah, and we've talked about this so many times how people are followers. So it's like, of course, if their friends are, moving into this 15-minute city, then they're probably more likely to move in also, you know?
And they're more inclined to go along with the culture club
Yeah,
because their friends are.
right.
That's a big thing because people are followers. So if they get a big group that are all blindly following, they'll just go and do it.
Right. I wonder, so that's interesting. I'm wondering like if they're putting out a lot of advertising for these areas, like in certain key areas where they want to draw. Because I keep looking at all this and I'm like, where are all these people coming from? Like this is gonna literally take thousands of people to fill these things up. Like,
They have bubbles.
yeah,
See, the media is smart It's run by Satan.
Hmm.
And Satan's really smart. And he goes, okay, good, good, good. We've got all these people in this bubble. We can do whatever we want with them. You and I don't really understand that because we aren't in a bubble.
No,
We pop bubbles.
we're feather rufflers.
Yeah. So when we're talking to somebody and they're telling us like how they got rendered into that state, I'm always kind of like an anthropologist, like, tell me more. Like what
Yeah,
stimuli were you using that rendered you into this ridiculous zombie-like state? And he'll go, well, I watched this and I watched this. Like, it might not even be news. Some of these shows that people watch might be corralling people.
totally. Well, a lot of the shows, like the Netflix shows, like we always talk about
Netflix
this.
shows or
Yeah,
like maybe anime and like that's kind
yeah.
of popular. Like,
They're full of social engineering and
yeah,
they're putting little messages and things even in commercials. I've noticed, like even in the commercials that they put on in between, like even on YouTube, they have messages that they want out there. There's stuff in there that they want you to see and think is normal or like what you should be doing. You know what I mean?
they make assumptions too. Like the media will throw in false assumptions and just act like it's a fact.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, like remember the Dire Wolves episode that we did?
Yeah, I love that one.
And they're like, well, so we found one bone is 6 million years old. And that was the
And we know that for a
that's
fact.
right. That was the leg bone of the dire wolf. But then another animal that's a dire wolf as well was much deeper in time, and that was 11 million years old. Okay, so
Not 11 million and one.
no.
No.
So the thing is they make these assertions and people let it wash over them as fact.
Yeah.
But no, that's total Kool-Aid. What you just heard. Those were dog bones that were dug up like last week. That dog got run over by a car last week, like last year. No, and that's a dog. It's not a dire wolf. That's a dog. So they get people to eat what they're fed, and then the media has become insidious at packing. Like, have you ever noticed? Like, if you listen to MSNBC or CNN, you'll hear this. They'll pack huge lies into one sentence,
Yeah.
like a whole bunch of lies into one sentence.
Yeah.
You know, I can't think of an example right now, but I mean, that's basically what's going on. And so we have a Walker, they're basically swallowing a bunch of lies.
Totally.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're swallowing a bunch of lies. They're confused now. They're scared. And then they get into their bubbles. And then you and I are sitting here going, how did that person get like that? Well, the media has been working on them their whole lives.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like you said earlier, we've been getting lied to our whole lives.
Right.
The way that you and I reacted to it was the healthy way. Some people didn't. They just swallowed them.
Yeah, I think that's the difference. Like, I've always questioned things, and I think it's important to do that and to teach your kids to do that. Like, if something doesn't make sense, don't just accept it as fact. Like, if something just doesn't make sense to you, you should ask questions about it, and consider
And
options.
if your teacher asserts something that doesn't sit right with you, even question that.
Yeah.
Or maybe pass the test. Like what I tell my daughter is
Yeah.
pass the test,
Right.
but come home and talk to me about it and
Exactly.
decide whether or not that's real or not,
Yeah.
because no, Earth mod is not real.
Well, and I think most of the teachers are totally indoctrinated and believe all this stuff. So I just say, like, um, come home and ask the questions because, like, I think that some of the teachers can even get mad about
Oh
the
yeah.
questions. You know what I mean? And
And you can get ostracized.
ostracized. Jinx.
Jinx. You can get ostracized. You can also get like maybe bad stuff happen to you because you've been
Yeah.
singled out now. You
Right.
become a pariah.
You're weird and you're like a problem. So
Yeah.
I think, it's important to like ask questions and wonder about things like wonder, like kids, I think naturally for kids, they wonder and it kind of gets trained out of them at schools. Like the wonder that kids have, I think gets like unindoctrinated out of them
They
in
say you
schools.
stop wondering about that.
Stop
Here,
wondering. This is fact.
this is
You
what you
know,
want to be
we're
thinking about.
spinning on a ball millions of miles an hour and we don't fall off because there's a magical thing called gravity.
Yeah.
So just believe it.
Just believe that. And if it
Some other
doesn't sit
stuff.
right with you, just
Because
you're a bad person.
you're just not smart enough to like contemplate it. So
Well, like cancer too. Like, so the analogy is cancer.
yeah.
So this urban blight is a cancer that's growing.
Hmm.
And we're talking about the media drives it. It's um it's a media outcropping, but what I think it is the Rockefeller healthcare system treats cancer by giving you radiation and surgery and cutting it out of you.
Yeah, the radiation, which they always tell us causes cancer.
Radiation causes cancer, but you're going to give me radiation to cure my cancer? Oh, okay.
Okay.
But see, what I've always said is maybe the cancer goes away once you make the lifestyle change.
Mm,
You start exercising and eating right, the cancer is going to go away. Your body's going to fight it off. Your immune system is going to kick in. Maybe that's how we get rid of the 15-minute cities.
ooh,
Maybe we just have a better society and a better lifestyle and a better culture.
yeah,
And I think that's what we're trying to do with our show. We're trying to ripple effect, change culture. Because if we can
right.
change culture, we can get people saying, I don't want anything to do with these 15-minute cities.
Yeah,
If nobody wants them and they're not in demand, they're going to get torn down.
they are. Oh my gosh. It'll be like, I mentioned this in our last episode. I was just reading how a lot of these self-checkout things at the stores are
Yeah, that's a
getting
good analogy.
removed because people don't want them. And this is what could very easily happen with the 15-minute cities, if
You
people
know,
don't move into them.
those roach motels, because I call them roach motels,
Yeah.
those roach motels can come down just like the 9/11 buildings. Remember how they just collapse down on themselves?
Yeah.
We can just use that same technique. Maybe we'll just fly airplanes in them
Yeah, we'll just fly some airplanes into them and
and they'll collapse in on
or
themselves.
or do demolition like they did on 9/11 and they'll just collapse.
We'll do 9/11 style demolition. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
They come
Because
down easy like that.
we've already been shown
I
how to
mean, they made
destroy
a
things.
like a whole huge 100-story building come down. They could make like some 5-story apartment buildings come down. No problem.
Think about think about the engine of growth that was the 1950s America. The engine of growth.
Mm.
We built suburbs across this country.
Right.
And all those homes were single family dwellings with a
Yeah.
nice driveway and a nice front yard.
Big
And there
backyards.
was roses,
Yeah.
and you had a side of the house, and you had a nice backyard.
Garage.
You had a garage. You had a nice big roomy living room.
A neighborhood park and maybe a
You had a park.
pool.
You had a pool in the backyard,
Neighborhood
maybe.
schools.
You had schools. Everybody kind of knew the other parents. You knew
Hmm.
your neighbors. If that can exist, I think people want that.
I think so
They
too.
just don't realize that it's available to them.
Right.
I think that's all we have to do is we just have to kind of remind people, this is available to you. Like, what was I watching? Um, oh, it was this thing about Lemmy. One of my favorite guys is Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead.
Ah.
He died back in like 2016,
Mm.
but he was like one of my favorite bands. And it was funny because there was like a wrestler back in like 2008, and he was a big wrestler named Triple H,
Hmm.
and he wanted to have a certain soundtrack as he came into the ring.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so they're showing him some musical samples, and he's going, I want something kind of like Motorhead, you know? And they're like, well, why don't we just get Motorhead? And we'll just get Lemmy to actually make you a song. And he's like, I didn't even know that was an option. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was an option. I think a lot of people are kind of like that.
Well, yeah,
They didn't even know good could be an option.
that's such a good point because I think a lot of people just accept like whatever they're given. They accept like this is the answer to whatever it is, and they don't ask any questions or ask for more. Like they don't ask like,
Yeah.
like if I'm going out to eat, I think I mentioned this once before, like when I go out to dinner or something, I'm going out for the experience. I'm not just going for the food. Like I want the whole experience. So if like they seat me like right next to the kitchen or like
Mm.
somewhere, I'm okay with asking, like, is there another table? Can
Yeah.
we be by the window, And I don't think that's like crazy to do that.
Whereas the person that's been rendered into the zombie state, they're gonna be like, "Wow, I don't even really deserve to be eating here, but I'll sit right by the kitchen, that's fine." You know?
Yeah,
I think that people don't know how much better it could be. They don't even know what to ask for, and they've been rendered into this state of, "My dog's in a wheelchair, and I just want a fruity."
totally.
And so they settle. I
They
think they
do.
settle.
And there could be so much more out there and something better.
People do that in relationships too.
Yeah.
How many people have you talked to that they're in a marriage and it's just such a bland,
Well,
unfulfilling
I
marriage?
think maybe like they met online. I don't know. I hate to like, I know, like I have some
I'm
friends
just
who
saying,
did that and
I think people settle.
yeah,
I think they get married and they settle, and it's like they don't even know that they could ask for better. And love is so powerful that I think a lot of people they find love after they've already settled into a marriage.
maybe.
And so maybe it's kind of the same thing. Like you've already settled into your 15-minute city, and now you find out that, wow, this is what I really love.
But you know what? It's never too late. Like,
That's the white pill.
you don't have to settle into a 15-minute city. And I think like
You can divorce your 15-minute
you
city.
can easily divorce your 15-minute city. I think when people, I don't know, I feel like when people kind of like venture out of their bubble and see what more there is out there, I don't know, maybe I'm delusional, but I think more people would probably realize that there's so much beauty out there and so many more better things that they might not want to go back into that 15-minute city.
No, I
You
think
know
you've
what
hit the
I mean?
nail on the head. I think the white pill for this episode is ask more.
Ask for more.
Ask more for yourself and
Yeah.
of yourself because the media is cramming a scarcity mentality into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, no, look, because Satan is the media.
Mm-hmm.
So Satan comes in and he goes, no, excuse me, you scarcity. There's not enough.
There's not enough. Now you have to get in this little coffin
Mhm.
apartment.
Yeah. No, you're lucky you get a coffin apartment because you're a virus. You're bad for the earth. We
Right.
should just kill you, but we'll let you live.
And
And
here you can plug your car in.
yeah, plug your car in, whatever. So that's what the media immediately starts grooming you when you're a kid to be like, no, there's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, but wait a minute, my parents, look at how they lived. You don't get to live like that.
Right.
They had more than you, and you just gotta accept that.
Well, this is probably part of their, how they're making it so hard to afford anything. They're making it really difficult. Like for a young couple now to like where we live to be able to buy a house is, I think, almost impossible.
Well,
Really.
they would have to be making 150 grand each.
Yeah, because you're going to have to come up with like $100,000 just for a down payment
100 grand.
minimum.
And you're still gonna have a high
And
payment.
that's
You
like,
probably want to come up with like 300 grand
yeah,
down payment.
because that's only going to get you into a $500,000 home, which around where we live is like
You're
not,
gonna be Walkerville.
you're not in a very good, great house.
No, you're gonna have deep Walkerville.
So
You're still in deep Walkerville, even if you're paying $1 million for a house,
I
which
know.
is crazy.
But in other areas, you can find so much more, and there's like untapped resources. You know what I mean?
Well, that's another media thing is like you said, there's all this open space all across the country, but everybody wants to live where we live.
Hmm.
I mean, I understand, but still, you don't have to live right here, but everybody seems to just want to be crammed into these little areas.
Well, I think that's also conditioning too. Like,
Yeah.
look at New York City, LA. It's like, why do you want to live in that city? I don't know. I guess some people like city living, but
You know what that trips me out about?
it's
When
weird.
I lived back east for a little while,
Hmm.
and I talk to people, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're from California? Oh, okay, yeah." And then they always want to tell you about their trips to California that they've taken,
Uh-huh.
right? And the people do the lamest stuff when they come out here.
Oh, really?
And they go, "Oh, we started off in Hollywood Boulevard, then we went to Santa Monica." I'm like, "Blah."
Yeah,
Hollywood Boulevard and
that's
Santa
gross.
Monica is lame.
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff, but I don't like to tell them about it because
Yeah.
then they're just gonna come find it. I'm always just like, go to In-N-Out.
Well, I think they found it now.
I
They're
know.
living, they're living like they're just starting to be like a
I
cancerous
remember
growth.
I used to work for this Indian dude, and he moved to Redondo Beach from India.
Oh.
And so he was like, Michael, I live in Redondo Beach, California. And
Mm.
I was like, well, okay, but still, it's too crowded now. But he was like one of these guys where I was like, dude, have you ever been to Abalone Cove? And he's like, Michael, I've been to Abalone Cove, Michael. And I'd be like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. And then I go, dude, I used to live in Tahoe. Have you ever been to Tahoe? It's awesome up there. And he'd be like, Michael, I've been to Lake Tahoe, Michael. So what happens is now people consume California like they're checking off things on their
Oh,
it's
their
like their
bucket
scorecard.
list.
Their
Yeah.
scorecard.
Yeah.
People in California have a scorecard. So they're like, oh yeah, but you're gonna have to pay a lot
Yeah.
for your scorecard
A
out here.
lot. And it's turning into a 15-minute city everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean it is. So the white pill is ask more.
Ask more
You can ask more.
and explore.
Yeah, ooh, I love that.
Ask
It's a
more and
poem.
explore.
Well, I don't think we have anything more we can possibly say than that. That's a perfect ending.
I think so too.
Well, good talking with
You
you. That
too.
was a great unpacking.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.